Chapter 13, 81. Heavenly Court's Letter. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. The Super Goo Formation in Plunder Shadow Earth. Trench might be broken, but it had warned Fang Yuan and the group. At this time, the southern border Goo immortals were rushing over, but there was still some distance before they reached. Fang Yuan could use the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle to immediately escape. However, after he carefully considered it, he decided to try using omnidirectional travel and familiarize with this method early to prevent any accidents in the future. Because Fang Yuan's methods could not break the investigative killer move, that meant his location would always be in an exposed state. It was likely that they would be ambushed by enemies while escaping. For instance, Fang Yuan's group had ran into Yi Clan's immortal Goo House Bay Pavilion earlier, while they were on the run. Under this situation, it was actually risky for Fang Yuan and the others to escape with the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle. Because the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle was not an immortal Goo House, it and the Goo Immortals were not a single entity, and it did not provide a unified combination of offense and defense like immortal Goo Houses. This meant the Goo Immortals on the Eagle's back could easily be targeted. But if they grasped the ancient battle formation omnidirectional travel, they could teleport instantly, crossing an extremely large distance and leaving the danger area. Ying Wuxi and the others were able to escape even Heavenly Court's pursuit because they had this method. Fang Yuan's repeated chases brought no results because of this ancient battle formation. Now Fang Yuan was the new leader of Shadow Sect. His enemy's advantage had now become his advantage. Fang Yuan summoned all the Goo Immortals and passed on the contents of the ancient battle formation to every person. Among them, Bai Ningbing, He Lu Lan, and Ying Wuxi had already grasped this formation path killer move. But it was the first time for Fang Yuan, Miao Yin, and Black Tigress. In any case, only 3 of them had grasped omnidirectional travel, and among them, Ying Wuxi's mind was in a turmoil and could not be relied on. As such, Fang Yuan needed to gather everyone and practice together. This formation path method needed each Goo Immortal to coordinate, so there was not much meaning in practicing alone. While Fang Yuan and the group were urgently practicing omnidirectional travel, Wu Yong was marching ahead majestically with the southern border righteous path Goo Immortals. Wu Yong, according to your information, the enemies are likely to be in Plunder Shadow Earth Trench. We are not that far from the Earth Trench now. Please give your orders to plan the situation, Chi Kuyu said. He was also a rank 8 Goo Immortal, like Wu Yong, and based on seniority, he was from the same generation as Wu Dushu, highly senior to Wu Yong. However, Wu Clan was at the height of power, while Chi Clan was satisfied in ruling over their area and had far less reputation than Wu Clan. Adding on the information revealed by Timian Shen about Wu Yong, Southern Border's Goo Immortals were starting to feel apprehensive toward this Wu Clan First Supreme Elder. And even some fear. After all, before this, many Righteous Path forces had looked to trouble Wu Clan. Some even openly invaded Wu Clan's external resource points. If they had known about Wu Yong's strength and Wu Clan's clear jade dripping wind tiny bamboo building, they would have restrained themselves and not have acted so recklessly. Wu Clan lost much territory. Wu Yong is absolutely going to settle the score later. After exterminating Shadow Sect's remnant forces, Wu Yong will probably start taking actions. Sigh, we were all mistaken. This Wu Yong is very scheming, completely unlike Wu Dushu. He actually hid himself so well. Now that I think back, this was probably his plan, to show weakness first so that he can counterattack later with justification on his side, gaining even more benefits. On the way, the southern border Goo Immortals continued to discuss with each other. Theories about Wu Yong soon became the common topic in the group. As for Fang Yuan and the rest of Shadow Sect's members, Purple Mountain True Monarch had already died. Even Spectral Soul's main body was captured by Heavenly Court, to the southern border righteous path Goo Immortals. Only that upper extreme Heavenly Eagle was worth noting. They had mobilized 6 immortal Goo houses in this trip. What was there to fear about an upper extreme Heavenly Eagle? Plunder Shadow Earth Trench. Bai Ningbing suddenly coughed softly, a pained expression flashing past her eyes. The activation of omnidirectional travel had failed again. Bai Bing suffered the most severe backlash, but her expression soon recovered. Man as before, Fang Yuan was successively activating this time path immortal goo, healing himself and others. A complicated expression flashed past He Lulan's eyes as she once again enjoyed the healing effect of Man as before. Man as before was still alive. Even she was once again in Fang Yuan's camp. The only pity was Tai Bai Yun Sheng, who had died. Moreover, he had been personally killed by Fang Yuan. The training stopped. Fang Yuan healed his injuries using Man as before and began to think and summarize the reason for the failure. As for the others, they were still healing. Man as before had been used on all of them, but its effect on them was far less than on Fang Yuan. The sovereign immortal body had the properly of non-conflicting Dao marks. This slightly weakened Fang Yuan's defense, but at the same time, it gave him a great boost in the healing aspect. The injuries to others were not serious, and adding on their outstanding inheritances, they soon recovered completely. All right, let's try again, Fang Yuan called. Ancient battle formation, omnidirectional travel. Radiance spread out from every person's body. The radiance soon linked together, but it started to waver and lose its stable state. Bam! There was a crack as the light dissipated, turning into countless little sparks that filled the sky. Fairy Miao Yin groaned, her face flushed red as she suffered the heaviest injury this time. Fang Yuan did not suffer any injuries. He activated Man as before and healed Fairy Miao Yin first. Our movements need to be united, again. After a while, Fang Yuan said, while clapping his hands, Ancient battle formation, omnidirectional travel. Another failure. He Lulan gave a muffled groan, her brows slightly furrowed, and a trace of pain flashed past her beautiful face. After resting again, Fang Yuan said, Let's adjust a little, follow my movements, and then move accordingly. Understood? The three women nodded without a sound. After a while, although Fang Yuan had to taste the bitter fruit of failure again, the progress was much better than before. Good! Fang Yuan's eyes shined. The crucial key to successful activation of the ancient battle formation, omnidirectional travel, was closely united movements of all parties. After all the initial suffering and hard work, they finally started to find rhythm. But right at this time, the formation suddenly emitted a thunderous sound. Not good! There are several immortal goo houses above the earth trench. A pure dream reality seeker body, who was in charge of controlling the goo formation, hurried over to report. At once, all the female immortals' gazes gathered on Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was Shadow Sex leader. They were waiting for Fang Yuan's decision. Quite fast, but no worries. Fang Yuan smiled. This situation is within my expectations. We will follow the plan. Yes, the pure dream reality seeker body quickly retreated. Continue, Fang Yuan said to the female immortals. Immortal goo houses have locked on to plunder Shadow Earth Trench. We have limited time. We need to hurry. Inside clear jade dripping wind. Tiny bamboo building, Yong was looking down at plunder Shadow Earth Trench through the windows. After observing for a while, a sharp light flashed past his eyes. This super goo formation is quite profound. The creator used the natural Dao marks in the earth trench to construct an immortal goo formation with just large numbers of mortal goo. There are shadow monsters as well. Amazing, this scale is enormous. They have all been gathered into one area by this super goo formation, Chao Jikai exclaimed from the side. At this time, Chi Kuyu's excited voice came from within Chi Clan's immortal goo house. Good formation. Good formation. How about letting this old man deduce this formation's weakness and break it? No need, Yong lightly refused. This extermination trip should be finished quickly. Just this goo formation. So what? Even if there were several times more shadow monsters, they won't be able to block our immortal goo house's attacks. As he said this, Yong paused before sending a command. Everyone, attack! Clear jade. Dripping wind tiny bamboo building immediately took the lead, charging down amidst the fierce wind. It killed all the shadow monsters on its way, paving a path of massacre and chaos. Southern Border's Gu immortals were visibly shocked as they looked at the sight, clear jade, dripping wind. Tiny bamboo buildings' might had greatly surpassed their expectations. This is Wu clan's might. Many Gu immortals sighed internally, as if they were seeing a scene of the past where Wu Dushu fought her way through all. Wu Yong was of Wu clan's bloodline in the end. Ferocity was already deep within his blood and bones. At once, the Southern Border Gu immortals felt a sense of invigoration in their hearts. Kill! Charge! Kill these demonic scoundrels! Several immortal Gu houses rampaged like unstoppable beasts. The countless layers of shadow monsters felt like weak sheep in contrast. Cries of massacre had already reached Fang Yuan's ears, and they were getting louder. Fairy Miao Yin's expression changed slightly. He Lu Lan took several glances at Fang Yuan, but Fang Yuan showed no reaction. Bai Ningbing was still aloof and indifferent. The Super Gu formation would not be able to stop the intense attacks of several immortal Gu houses, and would collapse in a short while. The highest cultivation of the shadow monsters was only rank 7, and they were already killed or had dispersed in all directions. Just as Southern Border's Gu immortals were advancing boldly into the cave, the pure dream reality seeker bodies stood up. Bam, bam, bam! A series of self-detonations resounded. Dream realms formed instantly. This move again, retreat! Yiklan Gu immortals had suffered from this move before. They immediately retreated far away with Bay Pavilion. Other immortal Gu houses also had no choice but to stop and look on from the side. The dream realms had formed into an all-around defense over Fang Yuan and the others. Wu Yong and the rest had complex expressions. How could they break through such a defensive line? It was as if they were being bullied for being ignorant in Dream Path. These righteous path Gu immortals, who had been advancing with surging momentum, were dumbfounded. Wu Yong suddenly chuckled. Having to use such a defense means Shadow Sect is already at its wit's end. They are blocking us, but we are also trapping them inside. Let me see how long they can keep this defense. Both sides were in a stalemate. Right at this time, Wu Yong's expression changed slightly as he received a letter Gopher. It was from Heavenly Court.